Solipsism, the idea that only our minds are sure to exist. It's a philosophy so crazy that it could be true. In fact, when you think about it, it's the easiest thing in the world to believe. But what if it's also the hardest thing to disprove? Hey, it's me. This is my channel. And today, we go in to talk about what if you the only real person in the world. There's a moment in the movie The Matrix where Morpheus confronts an agent and shouts at him. He says, "You feel that? That's the taste of freedom. Welcome to the real world." And he puts a gun to the agent's head and blows his brains out. And the agent looks at him and goes, "What?" And then he blows his brains out. Okay, but before that, Morpheus asks the agent, "Do you feel anything?" And the agent is confused. He doesn't understand what Morpheus means. He thinks he's trying to arrest him. But the question remains, do you feel anything? If the agent didn't feel anything, he was probably just an NPC, a non-player character, basically a robot or a program. The Matrix is a computer simulation, and agents are just lines of code. They don't feel anything. They can't be hurt. It would be cruel to call them zombies, because that implies they have brains and consciousness. They are nothing. They are like mobile malware. They can infect other programs. But that's it. Their lives have no meaning. But what if you are a person, and you find out that everyone around you is just an NPC, just a line of code with no consciousness or feeling? What would that mean for you? Would it change your life in any way? Well, first of all, I think it would make your life pretty lonely. I have a cat and I love her very much. I enjoy her company. I enjoy petting her. I enjoy playing with her. And when she's around, it makes me happy. Now imagine for a second that your cat isn't real. She's just a program, just an NPC. Your pet, who you've shared countless hours with, doesn't actually exist. She has no feelings, no thoughts. She has just a bunch of ones and zeros pretending to be a cat so you can keep playing the game. Would it change how you felt about your cat? Would you still want to spend time with her? Would you still love her? Or would you just turn off the program and get a new one? That's how I feel about humanity. We're all just NPCs to each other. We're all just programs pretending to be human. We're born, we grow up, we work, we fall in love, we have kids, we get old, and we die. But none of it is real. None of it matters. We're all just code. And the only real person in the world is you. We don't know if this is true, but we can't prove it's not true either. In fact, it's the easiest thing in the world to believe. Because all you have to do is stop believing in other people. I don't want to live in a world like that. Here's the thing though, the world might be a dream, but if you're in it, it might as well be real. So here's the real question. How do you know you're not dreaming right now? I don't know. I feel real. I hear sounds. I feel sensations. I feel like I'm made of flesh and blood. But maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just a collection of neurons firing in a petri dish. In fact, we can't know for sure that anyone else is real. Sure, we can observe their behavior. We can see them interact with other people. We can see them move objects. But how do we know they read not just lines of code doing exactly what they were programmed to do? How do we know they're not just following a script? This is where solipsism starts to take hold. If you really start thinking about it, the only person you can be 100% certain exists is you. I mean, what if this whole world is some kind of elaborate experiment? What if there are aliens out there who have captured us and put us into a simulation? What if everything we see, hear, and touch is just an illusion? Okay, but let's pretend you are the only real person in the world. What happens when you walk away? Do other people still exist? When you leave a room, do they continue to act like they normally would? Do they keep talking to themselves? Do they keep moving objects? Do they keep interacting with other people? Or do they just freeze? When you walk into an empty room, you can tell no one is inside by looking around. You can see dust particles floating in the air beams, light streaming through the windows, and hear the sound of traffic from outside. But what if you didn't see or hear anything? What if you couldn't tell if the room was empty or not? Well, then it wouldn't matter if you were alone in the universe. You would still feel like you were in a room. When you play games like Cyberpunk, one of the biggest complaints people have is that the NPCs seem to ignore you sometimes. You will be walking down the street, and suddenly someone will just walk through you like you're not there. It's super weird, and it's usually a glitch. But what if it wasn't a glitch? What if these NPCs are actually just ignoring you because they don't know you exist? In fact, I think we can say with some certainty that most people don't actually know we exist. You see, most people are absorbed in their own little worlds. They're too busy worrying about their jobs, their relationships, their problems, or whatever they're interested in. They're so wrapped up in themselves that they don't even notice other people. They don't see you. They don't hear you. They don't acknowledge you. To them, you might as well not exist. It seems obvious that other people exist, but we can't know for sure. We can't prove it. All we have is our own experiences, our own perceptions. And if those are all an illusion, then so is everything else. The philosopher René Descartes once said, "I think, therefore, I am." He believed that the only thing we can be certain of is our own existence. Everything else is just an illusion. We can't prove it, we can't disprove it. We just don't know. Descartes was a genius, but I think he was wrong. I think we can prove that other people exist. We can't know what they're thinking. We can't read their minds, but we can see their behavior. We can see what they do, how they react, how they respond. And based on that, we can assume that they exist, that they feel things. You see, when you're playing a game like Cyberpunk, you can see that the NPCs are reacting to something. They're moving towards something. They're picking up items. They're attacking you. They're doing something. Even if you don't know what they're thinking, you can tell they're reacting to something. And that leads you to believe they exist. That they're real? Well, that's the same thing we do with other people. We can't know what they're thinking, but we can see how they behave. And based on that, we can assume they exist. That they feel things? But what if you could prove that other people exist? Would it change your life in any way? Would you stop feeling Well, I don't think so. I think the truth is that it doesn't matter if the world is fake, if it still hurts, inspires, and feels real. There's a story about a man who went to see a therapist because he kept having these dreams, where he was in a world that was In these dreams, he would meet people and have conversations with them. But when he woke up, he couldn't remember their faces or what they had said. The therapist asked him, "How did it feel to be in these dreams?" And the man replied, "It felt real." Then the therapist asked him, "So if you can't remember the people you met, does it change how you feel?" And the man thought for a moment. "No," he said, "it doesn't, because if it felt real to me, then it was real. That's how I feel about the world. I don't know if it's real or fake, but it feels real to me. So I'm going to treat it like it's real. I'm going to love my cat. I'm going to help my friends. I'm going to try to make the world a better place because it feels right. Because if it feels real to me, then it is real." What do you think? Am I the only real person in the world? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.